All right, let's jump right in. Today's explainer focuses on a story that, frankly, demands our absolute attention and deepest respect. We're looking at the incredible life, the sheer tactical brilliance, and the supreme sacrifice of Major Mohit Sharma. You know, when we study military history, it's so easy to get caught up in grand strategies or massive troop movements. But true understanding, that comes from looking at the actual individuals executing those strategies on the ground. So we are going to walk through his military profile step by step today, to truly grasp what it actually means to lead from the front.
Look, we're not going to start off with a dry list of dates and locations. We're dropping right into the absolute core of his legacy. A legacy of unmatched bravery and supreme sacrifice. That phrase right there sets a solemn yet deeply inspiring tone for everything we're about to cover. And I want you to keep this thought in the back of your mind as we get into the tactical details. Everything he trained for, every single choice he made, was building toward this singular, unwavering commitment to his nation.
Okay, so before we even look at his early life, we really need to understand the sheer weight of the Ashoka Chakra to truly grasp the magnitude of his heroism. This isn't just any medal. It's India's highest peacetime military decoration. It's awarded for the most conspicuous bravery, courageous action, or self-sacrifice away from the conventional battlefield. Basically, this tells us that Major Sharma was operating in those gray areas, right? The hidden, highly volatile conflicts that might not always make the front page, but are absolutely vital for national security. It sets a massive bar for the caliber of soldier we're studying today.
But, nobody is just born wearing a uniform. Major Sharma started out as a civilian student, pretty much like anyone else. What separated him, though, was this profound, unyielding drive to join the armed forces. For him, it wasn't just a career path, it was a calling. As we look at this transition from civilian to soldier, just think about the immense mental shift that requires. It's about taking your life of personal pursuits and shifting it completely to a life where your primary purpose is service and duty. And it's a shift he embraced with absolute passion.
So how does that transition happen? Well, it was rapid and unrelenting. Starting from those early civilian years, he plunged straight into the intense crucible of the National Defense Academy, the NDA. Those are the years of foundational training where a cadet's physical and mental limits are tested every single day. From there, he progressed to the Indian Military Academy, where the focus shifted heavily to advanced tactical training. And finally, the culmination of all that sweat and grit, becoming a commissioned officer and starting active duty. This whole journey is basically a roadmap of a human being meticulously forged into a leader.
Now, here is a crucial point. Major Sharma's heroism wasn't just some isolated event at the end of his life. Actually, long before his final mission, he'd already proven his exceptional tactical expertise and battlefield gallantry by earning the highly prestigious Sena Medal. This tells us he was a fully tested combatant. He understood the ground reality, he knew exactly how to outmaneuver the enemy, and he had a documented track record of staying totally cool and effective under intense fire. He was recognized as an exceptional operator way before the events that would ultimately define his legacy.
And that proven track record, that set the stage for a massive turning point in his military profile, transitioning into the elite 1 Para Special Forces. Now, moving into the Special Forces means stepping completely away from conventional warfare. It literally means volunteering for the military's most perilous, most complex assignments. The 1 Para SF is a totally different world. It requires the kind of soldier who thrives in total uncertainty and is comfortable operating in the shadows. He didn't just want to serve, he wanted to be at the absolute tip of the spear.
Just think about what operating at this elite level actually demands. The mental agility required is off the charts. It's not just surviving grueling selection requirements that would break most people, or having extreme physical endurance. We are talking about high-risk, undercover alias operations. This isn't just kicking down doors, folks. This is intense psychological warfare. It means living, breathing, and operating deep within terror networks under an assumed identity. It takes an intellect and a nerve that's frankly hard to wrap your head around. Throw specialized counterterrorism missions on top of that, and you've got the astonishing daily reality of Major Sharma's life in the SF.
So all of this, the intense preparation, the covert ops, it all culminated in the ultimate test of his leadership, a critical, incredibly high-stakes counterterrorism mission in the unforgiving terrain of Kupwara. Now, if you know Kupwara, you know it's an environment that fights you just as hard as the enemy does. We're talking dense forests, steep mountains, brutal, unpredictable weather. This was the exact setting where Major Sharma's years of training at the NDA, the IMA, and in the Special Forces would all be called upon in one definitive, chaotic moment.
And on the ground, absolute chaos, but it was met with absolute clarity. After navigating that incredibly hostile terrain, he personally led his elite para-SF squad right into a prime tactical position. The situation devolved fast, forcing him to engage enemy combatants in highly volatile, close-quarters combat. Now, when bullets are flying and it's deafeningly loud, panic is the natural human reaction. But this is exactly where his true colors showed. He demonstrated fearless leadership, took total charge of the chaos, and led entirely from the front to protect his squad.
It was in the midst of that intense firefight that Major Sharma made the ultimate sacrifice. He gave his life while valiantly leading and physically shielding his team against the terrorist forces. His final moments were completely 100% defined by selflessness. He put the safety of his men and the security of his nation entirely above his own life. It is, without a doubt, the purest and most profound definition of military ethos and leadership we could possibly study.
Which brings us to his official gallantry citation, words that forever etch his legacy into military history. Awarded the Ashoka Chakra for conspicuous gallantry, inspiring leadership, and supreme sacrifice. You hear those words, and you realize they aren't just ceremonial. Every single syllable of that citation was earned through grit, sheer tactical brilliance, and a love for his country that most of us can barely even fathom. It really validates everything we've looked at today, from that eager civilian student to the elite Special Forces operative.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought. How do we actually carry forward the legacy of such extraordinary selflessness in duty in our own daily lives? Obviously, we might not be Special Forces operators navigating hostile terrain, but the core principles, duty, putting others before ourselves, standing firm when adversity hits, those are universal. What can we take away from his valor, and how do we truly honor heroes like Major Mohit Sharma moving forward? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I really hope this focused look at his life gave you a profound new perspective.